contrary to prior popular rumours, 6ix9ine will not be walking free today. Get all the latest drama stories in one place. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Hello everyone and welcome back to Delving Into Drama, the show where we look at drama situations going on in and around the YouTube community and giving you the stories as they come. A couple of hours ago, 6ix9ine was finally sentenced, and we have here the full court breakdown supplied by Inner City Press. We've been working closely with Inner City Press. In fact, we're one of the people tagged in the original thread, and we're here to deliver the full court breakdown. As we all probably know, Tekashi 6ix9ine, or Daniel Hernandez, was being sentenced by Judge Engelmayer for several charges including conspiracy, attempted murder, conspiracy to distribute heroin, and 4 firearms charges. We all pretty much know what the charges are, so I'm not going to go through that bit, but a victim did testify in court. The victim, simply known as Miss LL, said, "I'm hurt, I'm upset. July 16th, I was just an innocent bystander shot in the foot. The bullet could have hit me in the head. Every day I wake up. I have scars on my back. I was out of work. The actions took a lot of me. I still have to go to the doctors, and for him to sit up here, I want to see him apologize. My mother could have lost her daughter. At the end of the day, he was the mastermind. I have bruises on me. I have to look at myself. I just want an apology. It took a lot for me to come here. I want to face him. I want to know he hurt me. He hurt me." The judge then says, "I can see how hard this was on you, and I'm sorry that happened to you. I appreciate the courage, and I mean that word deliberately that it took you to come here." After this, 6ix9ine's lawyer, Lance Lazaro, appeals to the judge. "Mr. Hernandez sits before you today, given a second chance. The only that comes from being a gang member is a life in jail. That will be his message if given a second chance. He has tried to do the right thing." So we go to that proffer meeting, and we're basically told that certain members of the gang are trying to super violate him. Daniel's mother was living day to day. There were many nights Daniel and his brother went to bed hungry. Then Daniel's mother meets a man he considers his stepfather. He becomes a father figure. Then he was murdered on the street. The impact of that, his stepfather being killed, and Daniel feeling guilty that he didn't go to the store with him, he's diagnosed with depression. He's given medication. Every dime he gives to his mother when he's working at a deli. His mother is waking up early to clean houses. He's picked up cans to sell them. They went to church every Sunday. He sings in the choir. He decides to make music videos in the backyard. Daniel decided he's going out to tour Eastern Europe to try and make a career, but he didn't make much money. In 2017, Daniel Hernandez, he writes his song Gummo. He's going to change his image, this gangster image. That's who he got involved with 9 Trey. He meets Skifano Jordan, who tells him to go buy some Hennessy and he'll get the gang members together to shoot the video. It blows up, and a second one blows up. These gangsters of 9 Trey, they see that if they can control Daniel Hernandez, they're rich. Maybe joining 9 Trey contributed to him becoming a star, but it was the worst decision he ever made. It has resulted in his imprisonment. As Michael Longier stated earlier, my client's cooperation was complete. From the day he appeared before Magistrate Pittman, he cooperated. He took down a major gang. 4 other additional defendants were arrested and taken off the street because of Mr. Hernandez. His testimony was believed by the jury. With respect to Mr. Ellison, that had to do with them kidnapping and robbing Mr. Hernandez. He will always have to have full-time security. This is different than the normal cooperator. He's a target for any gang member. He's got a long life sentence. He's helped to take down a major gang. We all know his testimony was leaked on the internet. Those pictures will forever be used against him. When you get to know him, he's not a bad kid. If given a second chance by Your Honor, I believe you will never see him again. I'm asking for time served and 3 years of supervised release. 6ix9ine himself then appeals to Judge Engelmayer. Your Honor, I don't really know where to start. This past year, I can't describe it. I wrote something down. I know we haven't had the chance to speak. I denounced being 9 Trey before the arrest. I was aware that the mother of my child was having sexual relations with Skifano Jordan via text messages. I was already kidnapped by Anthony Ellison. The booking agents were stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not a victim. I put myself into this position from day one. I allowed them in. That was my decision. To the lady who came forward, Miss LL, I don't know you. I'm sorry for what happened. I know that throwing my money at a situation is not the best result, but whatever medical bills you want me to pay, I will. I'm sorry this happened to you. I was in 3rd grade the last time I saw my biological father. A glance I took. I wrote a letter. I'll read it. I know there is no apology that can kill off the pain we've all been affected by. I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of bad choices, but that does not make me a bad person. If you told me in January 2017 I'd be a global star, I'd call you crazy. If in January 2018 you'd tell me I'd be part of a federal indictment, I'd call you crazy. Since the age of 14 when I lost my father, at 15, 16, 17, I'd see my mum wake up early. I wanted to prove something to the world. I wanted the world to see me as an example, that you are in control of where you want to go. I used my platform to push the message. If I did, why can't you? I gave people hope. Your Honor, a 5-year-old boy named Franklin was dying of cancer. He wanted to meet me. I asked myself, why? But I went. Cancer had disabled the right side of his body. I told him how strong he was. I realized I was not just a kid with rainbow hair and 6ix9ine tats. Franklin told me I was hope. Then I met another girl named Tati. She broke out of her shell. It was September. The family was struggling. I took them school shopping for the year. Tati told me if I can be strong, they can be strong. When people see me, they don't only see Tekashi 6ix9ine, the arrogant. I'm a human. I got organs like everyone in this room. They see Daniel Hernandez, not Tekashi 6ix9ine. I failed these kids, the millions of kids, my own kids, I haven't spoke to, the whole time incarcerated. It will be a priority of mine to visit low-income families. I failed these people. They believed in Daniel Hernandez. I was too busy making the negative image in my 6ix9ine persona. I know God has a bigger plan for me. I want to inspire the youth that it is never too late to change. If I can change for the better, so can they. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I lost my father to violence. I grew up with no guidance. It was me. I live it. So I know. Your Honor, allow me to inspire people. Not only the young people here, but the millions around the world listening and watching. After this, the judge called a recess and came back shortly afterwards. Mr. Hernandez, I've given it a lot of close thought, including your cooperation. The following are my thoughts, and this is going to take a little while. You are in custody for 13 months. I agree you deserve a great deal of credit for your cooperation. However, I cannot agree with your counsel that time served is appropriate. In my judgment, your conduct is too violent and selfish to make 13 months reasonable. You will not be going free today. For the better part of a year, you were part of a violent gang. So that there is no misunderstanding, here is a specific account of those acts. First came Trippie Redd. You decided to shoot at a member of Trippie Redd's entourage. Jordan fired into the Sprinter van in the Times Square area. It is a matter of sheer luck that an innocent person or people was not wounded or killed. When you pled guilty, you admitted to attempting to commit murder. On April 3rd, 2018, with a record label in Texas, Rap-A-Lot, you drove to 40th Street and 8th Avenue. Kefado Jordan robbed the musicians at gunpoint. You took the backpack and it was found in your home. As it happened, the musicians surrendered easily, but they might not have. Later, outside a restaurant when people yelled F6ix9ine, Jordan struck them with a firearm. Then at the Barclays Center, you and Casanova were beefing. Your song Billy was a response. You inflamed matters by posting a video mocking Casanova. Next was Chief Keef. He was in New York, you were in LA. You offered $20,000 to shoot at Chief Keef outside W Hotel. You later gave $10,000. Then you were in LA. A rival was live streaming in Smurf Village. Jordan offered to shoot. You said okay. In that incident in Smurf Village, a woman was shot in the foot. LL, who we heard from today. Next was Snow Billy. Aaron Young shot him, and I sentenced Aaron Young to 20 years. The woman, Sky, whose backpack was stolen and video of whom he put online, said this. Apart from the number and vengefulness of these attacks, there's also that they were to benefit you. Before you, the gang didn't fight with rap entourages. They had no independent interest in going after musicians and their management groups. You used 9 Trey as a potent means of getting even with your rivals. You claim you foolishly commingled with members out of the gang, but it's more than that. The attacks would not have happened without you. Shotty said he carried an assault rifle to protect you from the beefs you started. He was recorded by George Rivera saying this, "You didn't shoot, but you are responsible, and so I reject the portrait of you as a passive participant." You told the US Probation Department that you were brainwashed by the gang. That might be partially true, but the relationship was symbiotic. They got something out of it, but so did you. So did you. Your first crime, use of a child in a sexual performance, you said the same thing, that older acquaintances were having sexual intercourse with the underage girl. That excuse might have worked once, but it doesn't work twice. You have not been charged with using the members of the gangs as extras. You used them to much effect in Gummo. It was your artistic license to do that. You are not being sentenced for that. Bruce Springsteen sang about murder. You essentially joined. Your choice to join 9 Trey was unnecessary. I see a lot of gangs, like a 76 defendant Bronx case. They fell in at a young age. That excuse is not available to you. By the time you began with 9ine, you were a nationally famous rapper. You had a prosperous future. Your counsel says he joined to break out of poverty. I'm not buying that. You were set. As a result of your musical career, you could have gotten the advice of security people and presumably lawyers and accountants. I have sentenced hundreds of defendants for gang activity. Your daughter had nothing to do with your decision. But for your cooperation, you would get a very long sentence. When you began to cooperate in November 2018, some incidents the government didn't know about, but it knew about a lot. The April 3rd robbery, the 2 April 28 shootings. Your driver had been cooperating for many months against you. The attack on Frenchie's van was captured on security video. I therefore conclude that one way or the other, the full range of your conduct would have come to light. Your cooperation was courageous. The danger to you is multiplied by your music career, which I understand you intend to continue. The fact that you are unusually recognizable does not help you. You met with the government 26 times, reviewing social media messages and decoding them. Your cooperation enabled the government to take down a violent gang, beyond the 6, including you, named in the initial indictment. You testified at the trial this fall. I saw you straining to make sure you were measuring your words right. You testified in the harsh glare of nationwide publicity, but there were 2 other cooperators. But you squarely implicated the other 2 defendants. The jury's 2 not guilty verdicts on firearms charge did not implicate your testimony. I have little doubt if the jury were asked if a firearm had been brandished during your kidnapping, they would have said yes, and today, you apologise. I have no doubt the process of cooperation for you has been cathartic. For these reasons, you deserve a very substantial reduction, and you will receive it. I followed some of the commentary during the trial. I took much of it in good fun. I appreciated the memes, whether at your expense or mine, but I need to say, 9ine was violent, not to be glorified. Cooperation of criminal insiders is a necessary tool. Imagine the members of 9ine free today. There was the slashing victim. Any one of us could have been in Times Square or the Barclays Centre or in the street with Kafado Jordan or Anthony Young. You are world famous for cooperating. No gang will want to work with you. Everything seen seems to suggest to me that this has been a searing experience for you. You have squandered 18 months so far. I do not expect you to be tempted to commit violence again. If you do, I am the judge in your case, and your economic self-interest. You have struck a lucrative deal. The situation is unusual. You are very fortunate. You will land on your feet. So far, your story appears to prove that there is no such thing as bad publicity. In the end, my judgment is that 13 months is not enough. I've considered other 5,000 sentences in gang violence. 13 months is outside the mainstream. Mr. Hernandez, if you expected to be released today, you will be disappointed, but you were wise to cooperate. Your cooperation will result in years more liberty. Mr. Hernandez, please rise. It is the judgment of the court that you are to serve a term of 24 years in prison with 5 years of supervised release. I impose 300 hours of community service when you get out and a fine of $35,000. Mr. Hernandez, the worst part is over. There is a great deal to be admired about you. You've learned a hard lesson here. I wish you very, very well. We are adjourned. 6ix9ine has already served 13 months, which means he will be serving his time until late 2020. Tekashi 6ix9ine's biological father actually spoke out after the court's proceedings.
But I feel glad that he's safe in there. You know what I mean? Because there, nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Outside, you know, they're going to try to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because all the stuff that he was saying, you know, blah, 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 blah. You guys know what it is. I don't have to explain.
I mean, you know, of course. I mean, it's a scary situation.
It's a scary situation. He's a target. He's a target.
How much do you think he's
responsible
for this?
He cannot hide. Because his face, his tattoos, 6ix9ine.
How much do you think he's responsible for this?
What do you think about your son's tattoos?
I don't think,
What do you think about his tattoos?
I like him.
Is he responsible for this?
I got tattoos too, but I don't got no 6ix9ine.
Did he do this to himself?
Once again, huge, massive thanks to Inner City Press. Without him, this story couldn't have been possible. I'm sure your fingers are hurting after all that, so go take a break and treat yourself. You've done the whole community very proud. Anyway guys, that is the story. If you like the show, give it a like. If you hated everything about it, well, the dislike works too. Subscribe, and we'll see you all for the next story. Bye-bye.